Hey there, CPO here, and today I want to talk to you about tire deflators. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're running a fresh off the lot stock Jeep or a machine that's worthy of a cover on a four-wheeler magazine. If you're out off-road, deflating your tires, reducing the air pressure in your tires will give you a benefit on the trail. What I decided to get for my off-road trip that's coming up here pretty soon are some brass tire deflators. Now, there's a lot of things we can buy for our Jeeps that we really don't need. This is one of them. However, it does add a bit of convenience. The reason is this will allow me to go around and deflate all of my tires at once, and I don't have to guess really what the tire pressure is. I don't have to deflate and check the pressure and deflate and check the pressure. So with these automatic brass deflators, you basically set them ahead of time and then you use them when you get to the trail to deflate to your set PSI. I'll show you a little bit more about these and how they work, and then I'll show you how to set them up. So let's do it. So these deflators come in several different styles and many different brands, but I will say most of them look just like this, and they probably made by the same manufacturer and just rebranded under different brand names. So let me show you how these work. These are essentially spring controlled, and what you have here is this little, I don't know, plunger that goes down inside of this brass body. You screw this brass body onto your valve stem, and what it does is it has this pin in the middle that will start deflating your tire for you, and air will come out these two holes. What prevents the air from coming completely out is this plunger with an O-ring on it that will sit inside of there. Okay, and then there's a spring here, and then you have the cap. Now the way it works is the more unscrewed this is, the more decompressed the spring is, the less air pressure it takes to force this plunger up out of the way. But as you tighten down this top cap, it compresses that spring and it requires more air pressure to move it. So basically, the higher air pressure setting is with the cap screwed all the way down, and then as you unscrew the cap, it will reduce the air pressure setting. And then here is a lock nut, a jam nut that you use to make sure it's locked in tight. Now, another interesting feature of this is at low air pressure, there might not be enough for it to push that spring up out of the way when you get down into the 10, 8 PSI range. So this does have a little knob here that you can pull up and manually start that decompression if it's not starting on its own. This is adjustable in, I believe, 3 PSI increments, half turn of the cap. Each half turn is 3 PSI, and I believe they specs say from 30 to 3 is what it will allow you to reduce to. I'm going to shoot for 15 on mine, and I'll show you how I'm going to set that up. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is get a tire down to the pressure level that we want to set our deflators at. So just checking the pressure on my spare, I'm at 35 right now with this. So what I want to do is run that down to my target pressure, which let's say we'll go to 15 PSI. As you can see, I'm at 15 PSI on this tire. So that's my target. Now what I want to do is take this and thread it all the way down at its lowest position. So that's the highest PSI setting. And then what I'm going to do is thread this on to my valve stem. All right, now with this tight, what I'm going to do is loosen this up by turning counterclockwise until I begin to hear air. Once I hear air, I just turn it back until the air stops. And then I can loosen, actually spin this jam nut, locking nut, up to it and tighten it up. And that's that. This is now set for 15 PSI. So let's test it and see how it works. I'm back to 35 PSI on the tire. And now what I'm going to do is just screw this deflator in. Let it do its thing. If it's making a noise, you can kind of just bump this little center pin there and it should stop humming on you. So what this is doing is taking the tire down to how I configured it, which in this case is 15 PSI. So the closer it gets to your target PSI, the slower it's going to go. Air pressure is going to rush out pretty quick while it's under a lot of pressure, but as that pressure reduces, that airflow is going to slow. So some people complain that these take a while. I mean, yeah, okay, they probably do take longer than manually reducing the air pressure, but the reality of it is you can walk around, have 4 of these configured, and go walk around and screw them on all 4 of your tires and then go work on something else. Maybe disconnect your links or something else like that. It takes a little bit longer, but you don't have to babysit it. You just wait till it stops leaking air and then take them off and you're done. All right, through the magic of video, you didn't have to sit and wait for this to completely drain out, but the airflow has stopped. So let's pull off our deflator and see what our resulting air pressure is. And there we go. So basically this is now going to automatically take our tires down to 15 PSI. We've got one set, but we've got to set all the others. So with our tires still at our target PSI, all we need to do now is use the same method we used to adjust this to set the other 3. There we go. Now the other 3 are set. So it's that simple. It took a lot longer to explain than to do, but I wanted to show you a little bit more detail. Not only, you know, how to do it, but kind of how it works too. So the last thing we want to do is re-air up our calibration tire. So we don't want to have a spare with 15 PSI when we're out on the road. So I'm going to air that back up to 35 where it was, and we'll be ready for the trail. So I hope you found this informative. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.